Oh, hello there. I'm MapleDungeons, and today I'm going to be introducing you to a game by the name of Chester. I picked this thing up and found out about it through the Indie Game Stand. I should talk about that for a second. The Indie Game Stand is a cool new website. It's a thing similar to indie bundles we've seen in the past. And it's a pay-what-you-want kind of thing. But instead of it offering a bundle of games, it just offers one game at a time at a pay-what-you-want price every 4 days. So every 4 days it will switch out and offer one game at a time. This is pretty excellent just to advertise games for indie developers, and hopefully it also gets us some pretty nice games. Chester is an interesting indie platformer with lots of jumping as well as some 2D shooting. It also has some RPG elements to it. It plays decently with the keyboard, although I'd say it's probably best with the gamepad if you can use one of those. I'd say that probably goes back to the fact that I believe it was originally made for Xbox Live Arcade. Upon entering the game, you come across a tutorial level that will show you how to do things. I'd recommend doing that. You just go through the level, there's signs telling you what to do. There you go. Pretty simple. There's a couple of other levels in the starting world to do as well. You'll learn stuff in there too. You go from left to right, platforming and killing things in your way. Seems pretty normal. With all that said, it doesn't really seem like anything special, right? Wrong. There's a full set of unlockable characters that each have their own special ability and their own element. You can swap out these characters in the middle of gameplay and combat to make use of that. You can make use of the abilities in different ways in combat, whatever, and you can make use of their element to fight more effectively. Different elements are more effective against some types of enemies, and weaker against others. And they will be more effective against you if they have an element that counters you. It's a pretty simple system that is pretty easy to get a hold of, but adds a lot of complexity to the game. The game feels good, and it feels like a pretty difficult game. Maybe it's me just being bad at video games in general, but I died a lot playing this game. And it wasn't a kind of death where I felt cheap, I felt tricked out. It was the kind of death that I felt that I was responsible for, which is the perfect kind of death for a game like this. To play it effectively, you're going to have to use all the systems in place, use the different characters' abilities, and swap them out when needed. With that pesky gameplay out of the way, how about the art style? Well, as you may have noticed if you've been looking closely, there is not one art style. There are multiple unlockable art styles that you can apply to any level once you have them. It's pretty incredible. It will also cycle through them anytime you get hit. In general, this game just looks pretty. It looks awesome. The final thing worth really mentioning about this game is the non-linearity, both inside levels and out of them. After the initial world you can do with like 3 levels in it, the other worlds can be done in any order you want. You go to space, you can go to any planet you want in any order, although some are more difficult than others, and it will tell you that right from the get-go. Inside the levels, there are often multiple paths, as well as all kinds of secret things you can find. This leads to a good amount of replayability, even though the game does seem to have a reasonable amount of length to it. If you look at all the worlds and all the levels in the worlds, this should last for some hours. In my opinion, more than enough to get your money's worth out of it. Overall, this game is actually just awesome. I don't get excited for platformers too often, but I am really enjoying this game a ton. Going to complete it for sure, and I have to recommend it to you if you enjoy video games. If you make an account with Indie Game Stand right now, you can get Chester for free. If you're watching this after September 26, 2012, then you can buy it on Desura for a low price. I will link to both of these sites in the description below. If you'd like to see more indie games coverage like this in the future, you can subscribe to my channel and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.